All right. Hello, everyone. And thank you all so much for joining me for this week's Mindful Moments session. This week, we will be talking about setting intentions for the day. My name is Jean, and it's an honor to be able to host these sessions for you all. Thank you all for joining me. All right, so setting intentions is a conscious practice and one you can do at a dedicated time, such as part of your morning routine. Intentions help us kind of create a life that is aligned to what matters most to us and helps us achieve our larger purpose. So, key words here are conscious and dedicated, a dedicated time. Preferably in the morning, because if you do it in the morning, you'll be able to take advantage of having that intention in your mind throughout the whole day. All right, so we're going to go through some few guides or tips of how to set up a process or how to set intentions for the day. So the first tip is to listen to your wisest self. And when are you your wisest self? Well, typically, if you want to think of your intentions, it's more powerful when they come from a calm or centered place rather than from a place of anxiety. So if you haven't already, maybe sit down, take a few calming breaths so that you can settle your mind and maybe feel more calm and centered. And then you can ask yourself some questions such as, what matters most today? What matters most to me this week? And what does my heart long for? So take a second to maybe think about that. All right, so we're going to move on to the next tip, which is to set intentions for saying, being, and doing. So, setting intentions, one thing that we want to keep in mind is to not make it very detailed and very long. Just keep them short and simple. For example, you can ask yourself, what do you want to see more? What do you want to be today? What do you want to do more? Do you want to see, for example, beauty, acts of kindness, or humorous moments? Do you want to be more patient? Do you want to be more diligent? Do you want to be more mindful? So, ask yourself these questions allows you to think about some of what your values are and how you might align your values with your intentions. And finally, so another thing is really helpful to keep yourself accountable for your intentions, write them down and share them with others. Writing your intentions down, maybe on a small card or sticky note that you can have beside you the whole day. So you can occasionally look back at it and remind yourself of your intentions that you set in the morning or maybe at the beginning of the week. And I find that whenever I write things down, it keeps me more accountable for wanting to kind of carry that out instead of just maybe writing a simple note on my laptop or anything and then just deleting that if I didn't finish. Sometimes that happens. And so writing things down is a really good practice. And then, especially if you set intentions in the morning, a good idea is to talk about these intentions with others, maybe at breakfast, that you have for the day. So this not only helps you create a community, but it allows you to share your intentions, and then other people can also keep you accountable for, or maybe provide feedback for maybe how they observed you, and just reflecting on if you tried to kind of align your day with your intentions. And so this also supports the habit of like setting intentions in the morning, since you would have to do this at a dedicated time every morning with other people. And so this is a good practice. So now we're going to do our weekly mindful practice. But before we do that, we're going to take 3 deep breaths. So breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. All right. I'm going to share my sound and enjoy. All right, now that we have finished our mindful practice, we will transition to our discussion section. So we're going to discuss, maybe think about what is the difference between intentions and goals. What are some ways we can keep track of our intentions? And what intentions do you have for this month? All right, so intentions, the difference between intentions and goals is that goals often attach us to a striving and controlling mindset, whereas intentions are like, I intend to be more patient. And so there isn't a definite measurement. You can't really measure your patience. Um, so intentions have more uncertainty surrounding them, and they allow us to kind of flourish in that uncertainty. Um, Whereas goals maybe are like, I want to finish this much today, or I want to drink this much water today. And what are some ways we can keep track of our intentions? Um, well, one way, we mentioned earlier, was maybe a little bit temporary, is just writing it on a sticky note. But if you want to keep track of your intentions, maybe over a longer period of time, you can have a dedicated journal, maybe to writing and keeping track of your intentions, so that you can also kind of see your progress and maybe reflect on how you can better align to your intentions. And so journaling is a good method. It's a method that I sometimes use. What intentions do you have for this month? This month, April, I intend to be more patient. Um, I intend to be more grateful, and I intend to be kind of going along with the patient, also be more calm and centered. Um, right now, my mind is kind of in a goal mindset, because I have a lot of testing coming up, and so it's been just like goal oriented, kind of trying to finish what I plan each day. Um, but it's also important to keep in mind your intentions and not just your goals. So we're going to kind of end this session with a quote, which is, every journey begins with the first step of articulating the intention and then becoming the intention. So the first thing we have to do is identify what we intend to do. And like we said throughout the session, we can set up a dedicated time, and each day or each week, with some kind of fixed schedule. And the best thing to do before you start thinking of your intentions is to try to get into that calm and centered state. And maybe you can do that with mindfulness practices, or maybe just taking a few deep breaths. That way, it's easier to think of our intentions, and then we can better align our values, our intentions, and then the things that we do each day. So I wanted to reference the National Geographic Everyday Mindfulness issue, which some of this content in the session was inspired by. And I want to thank you all so much for joining me for today's Mindful Moment session. I hope you all had a good time. I certainly did. And I hope you all have a great and mindful week.